Pretty much everybody knows about the new Nightmare difficulty coming to Dying Light 2. Some are excited, some are probably too scared to even think about playing it. However you feel about the difficulty doesn't really matter, because there is one thing that I would like to argue to be true, and that is Dying Light 2 is not ready for a Nightmare difficulty. There are multiple reasons as to why I believe this, and you could probably ask your friends or even just think to yourself, why might this not be a good thing for Dying Light 2? I've said multiple times before that adding in more content rather than fixing foundational problems is the biggest flaw in Techland's development cycle here. A lot of you already know after playing through the game, your character gets so strong. You can tank volatile hits. You can actually kill probably as many as you'd like. Nighttime is super easy. You can run away, paraglide, whatever you want. Chases are not troublesome. This may then make sense to add a harder difficulty, but if you actually just stay on the ground level and try to fight these guys for a little bit longer than you might already, you're gonna realize, if you haven't already, that the gameplay is really janky. I have no better words for it. There are just so many inconsistencies, bad collision detections, bugs, everything that you could imagine under the sun of problems a game can have. This pretty much contains it all. Really, I love the idea of getting new content, but they are really just ignoring it. Almost seems like laziness. As much as I hate to say that, they're just straight up ignoring technical problems that have been in the game since launch. I'm gonna bring this back to a really hot topic with the animation-based gameplay. In an attempt of making a more controlled environment and promoting the idea of more cinematic gameplay, Techland opted to make a more animation-based combat system, parkour system, whatever. And the signs of that are still very prevalent in the gameplay today. Despite all the changes they've made, it is still an issue. And that is pretty much one of the biggest reasons as to why I think that a Nightmare mode is just going to complicate things even more. Getting stuck in this game happens way more often than it should, and it is the most infuriating part of playing it. No matter how good you get, you will be tackled by a viral. You all should know that this is what was coming. This animation takes so long, it fucking locks you completely, and you get hit before you can even stand up. I don't know why this is still in the game as it is, but it's terrible. It ruins the game for me. And part of why it's such a big issue is because it is solely reliant on completing its animation. It doesn't make sense to include it in the game world. They don't even have any proper physics. They turn midair, full 90-degree turns, maybe even an entire 180 at times. So now just picture this on an even harder difficulty. When you're getting chased by volatiles, multiple volatiles. It's going to be the most rage-inducing experience possible, and not in a good way. Which leads me into the other factor of this problem, and that would be the enemies that stunlock you whenever they hit. Stunlocking is just a slightly different way of taking control away from the player. I believe Techland is using it here because they want everything to feel powerful compared to Aiden. Unfortunately, I just can't say I've had any good experiences with this mechanic, and I think most other people will probably agree with that. Those are the reasons why Dying Light 2 is not ready for a Nightmare mode. There are far too many aspects of the gameplay that just don't work in practice. Without further refinement of these gameplay elements, I don't think that Dying Light, even in its current state with its regular game modes, is as good as it should be. I think it's only fair to admit that Techland is doing a pretty darn good job at keeping up with this game, which is why it's just so disappointing and surprising to me that it's still in the state that it's in today. Gameplay should come first before new content. If the game's not ready for it, it shouldn't be released. And that's why the Nightmare mode is gonna be a nightmare to play. Not because it's scary, not because it's that much harder, but because it's amplifying the pre-existing problems that make the game agonizing to play anyway. That's gonna do it for this video. Let me know if you agree with what I think about the new Nightmare mode that's coming to Dying Light 2. Are you excited for it? Do you think it's gonna be a buggy mess? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy Dying Light 2 content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That is pretty much all I do here. I will see you all in the next video.